Hey guys, it's Jaber from UGX Mods, and I'm going to be showing you a tutorial on importing weapons from other Call of Duties and how to convert them so that they actually work in Black Ops 3. So the thing is, we're going to have to use a few programs, and if you don't have these programs, unfortunately you're not going to be able to do this. The main one being Maya. There's no way of getting around that. You need Maya to be able to import weapons into Black Ops 3. Preferably the Maya 2016, but apparently you can use Maya 8.5, but in this tutorial I'll be using Maya 2016. There is a student version you can download for free if you are a university or college student, so I recommend you check out their download page for that. And the other thing you're going to need to download is something off of a site called ModMe, and this was something from Asri that he posted. It's basically a conversion kit for converting any of the World at War rigs, like basically the animations, to Black Ops 3. It's a bit of a time-consuming process, but it does work. That's how I did the Thunder Gun animations. That's also how I did the Claymore animations. So this is going to be walking through how I got those into Black Ops 3. So you're going to want to download this, so depending on, I'm going to include this link in the description as well, but depending on if you use the 2016 version, you're going to want to take this key and download the My 2016 version, or use this unlock key to download the My 8.5 version. So whichever version of Maya you have, just go with that. And it's going to come with some of the stuff that's in here. I've threw a few extra files in here for some other stuff, but you're going to need basically the scripts folder and the conversion rig file. You don't need to really worry about anything else here. So the other thing you're going to want to have, obviously, is something like a weapon that you've exported out of rather Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, any of the Infinity War games. As long as you have the view model and the animations in a T-anim format, then you should be all set now. All you have to do is follow this tutorial. Okay, so we're going to start off by just opening up the conversion rig that's provided from ModMe. And so give this a sec here, but basically the reason why we have to use this conversion kit is the World at War and all previous Call of Duties used a joint setup that didn't have 3 joints on. I believe it's 3 joints. They're like wrist twist joints. We can actually check them out right here. If you look down under one of the shoulders, elbows, we have all these wrist twists and whatnot. I believe that's them there. Yeah. So the previous Call of Duties never had that. So this conversion kit's supposed to help with actually setting this up and converting it over by using 2 sets of view arms, but this will work. So the first thing you're going to want to do is have this open, and you're going to want to drag in your view model. So I've already got this set up here, so why don't we open this. It's going to be the same process. You want to bind your model the same way that you've always done. In fact, I'm probably going to have to grab that file. One moment. Lime. So I need my bind file here, and I'm gonna get rid of these output windows because they're annoying. Okay, so we're gonna start off by just, like usual, you got your weapon here. You're gonna want to bind it to the joint setup that they have provided when you rip it out of whatever game. So there we go. It's now bound to this rig, so if I move J-gun, it should move. Like usual, each individual part should move. Okay, so let's save that. Yes, I'm using the student version. Okay, and then what we're going to want to do next is drag that file that we just had open, the view model file, and we're going to drag that onto our conversion rig here. So let's go and drag that on. And so we have it in here now, and the thing is we're gonna have to set it up so that it's on the actual it's attached to this rig here. So you want to bring up your outliner So you can sometimes click here for some reason. I don't know what's with my 2016. I'm still kind of new to this. I'm more of a Blender guy. The other thing you can do is go down to Windows here and click Outliner. It'll rather open up on the left here, or it'll be its own window like I have here. So you're going to want to go down to Joints, Tag ADS, Torso, under the wrong joints here. Okay. Make sure you're under T7 joints. We don't need any of this open. Tag weapon right. That's the one that we're looking for. So make sure you're under T7 joints and go all the way down to T7 tag weapon right. And you're going to want to take your view model and you're going to want to put that. And what I'm doing here is I'm selecting it and middle mouse, hold my middle mouse and drag it under weapon right. So that's the whole joint from the ray gun. And so now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want it so that it's in the actual position for like completely zeroed out, so it's a zero translation. So click on this little icon here, second from the left, and just set all these to 0. So now my gun should be centered on that joint, the tag weapon right, which is center of the rig. So now there is one last thing we're going to want to do before we start putting our animations into here, and that is you want to select T7 joints, then go select hierarchy. So now it's going to select everything under the joints group there, and then with our conversion kit we want to bring out the scripts and we want to rename the rig. So we're going to drag this script that's provided with the conversion kit that you downloaded and drag it on. Sometimes the first time you drag it on it'll give you this error. Just drag it on again. And now if I look at the outliner, everything under T7 joints has this extra little underscore T7 suffix at the end of all of that, except for your J-gun stuff. It stops at tag weapon right. So this is, I believe, just to help with like the conversion, and it's supposed to set it up so that the second rig will get the animations that you drag on. Okay, so now we don't want to put the atoms in just yet because this is going to make the process so much easier, because that was kind of time consuming what we just did there. Imagine if you had to do that for every single animation. So what I like to do is right now save the scene as, don't save it over the conversion rig because you're probably going to want to use the conversion rig again, so save it as, and then I'm going to put it back in where my ray gun was. So, and I'll just keep it conversion kit, yeah. So now I should have a conversion rig in my ray gun folder that I just saved. So this is a good starting point for whenever you want to do your next anims. So now that we've got everything set up, we can start importing the anims into here and converting them over. So if you got your T anims ready, I usually like to start with the idle animation. It's probably your best bet. So if you did everything correctly, you'll see that your gun should be in place and the arms are moving in the correct position. So everything here looks pretty good. So it should work good in game. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is bring up the outliner again, wherever I put it. Well, outliner. Okay, you want to bring up T7 joints again, and you want to select it, select hierarchy, just like before, and then we're going to drag on the other script, remove namespace. So now all that T7 stuff that we had before is gone. Remember, if it gives you that error at the bottom, just drag it on again. But yeah, make sure you have everything, all that selected, and now all this is gone again. So the last thing that we're going to want to do is, depending on what animation you're exporting, we want to select the specific joints that we want to export for that animation. So since this isn't an ADS animation, this is a normal idle, what we're going to do is take tag torso, control, and then click tag cam bone, and then we're going to do select, if this shows up for me, select hierarchy. So everything under tag torso and tag cam bone are now selected. I would hope that you have, I guess I should have mentioned this before, but I hope that with your Maya versions you had the correct plugins for importing TNMs. You should check out Tom BMX's site to download that. as well as I use Aiden's plugin from UGX mod to export the animations and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is just go export xanim, and it starts at frame 0 and it ends at frame 3, so whatever animation you're doing, put that in. Don't need to play around with FPS. You can add note tracks if your animation has that, but this is an idle, so it's got none. So I'm going to save that to, I'm going to create a new folder, anims, and then we'll call this view model raygun mark 2, and then this will be the idle anim. So we still have all those joints selected, so export selected, and don't save over the rig, because this is a big key point here, because remember, we want to keep coming back to this rig so we can keep putting t-anims on it, so do not save this rig. To do that, and then you're going to want to open up the rig again, so it'll be back at the point of where it didn't have an animation in there, but it's still set up to the point where the gun's all set up. So that's what makes this easier, or else you'd have to do the first few steps all over again. So we're already at the point where we can put in the animations and everything should be all good. The second thing that I'm going to want to talk about is obviously if you keep going like this, you'll be all good, you'll get your animations all set up. The only issue is for people that haven't really ported animations before, there's something about like the step when you do an ADS animation, you can't do tag torso, tag cam bone, select hierarchy. You can't do that because it's only doing a tag ADS, or it's doing a tag torso animation, but we want it to be almost additive like the walking animations, but we can't use the rest of the joints because all the other animations are going to be using up those joints. So what we're going to do is we'll take our idle animation, we'll drag that on, and then we'll take an ADS anim. So I'm going to do ADS up because I like doing that one first. And you can check to see if it's all good. You can go in perspective, and whichever FOV you like to use, you can just go in, make sure it's all good, all lined up. You can go back to perspective when you're done. If that's all good, then all you have to do is, like before, we're going to take our outliner out, we're going to select T7 joints, and then we're going to go select hierarchy. We're going to drag that namespace script on again, remove namespace, and then it'll get rid of the underscore T7 at the end of all this. Then instead of going tag torso and tag cam bone for the ADS anim, we're going to go tag view, tag torso, do not select hierarchy. So now we'll export this like normal. This is 19 frames, 0 to 19, and we're going to go to anims, view model, raygun, mark 2, ADS up, export, and there we go. That's the idle and the ADS up. So for ADS down, do the exact same thing that we did for ADS up, and then for every other animation, do the exact same thing that we did for idle. And that should give you all the anims in an xanim export format. Okay, so now that I've gone ahead and converted all of the animations, like I said before, ADS anims have their own way of being exported, and the rest of them have their other, like the other method. Just remember to follow through with that. The next thing we're going to do is open up our view model again. So the thing is, in Black Ops 3, we don't have a JGun tag anymore. It's been replaced with tag weapon. So we're going to have to go through not only the weapon here and change that, but also in our animations exports. So we'll go through that as a text file. The reason why we're doing that now is the animations are still set up to want to move JGun, not tag weapon. So we wanted to replace all that, but keep the animation still importing properly. So we'll save this. I just changed it from JGun to tag weapon, and I'm going to export this as my view model. So I'll just go view model, raygun, MK2. Oh yeah, don't forget to select everything in your scene before exporting. Give it a second. Alright, so we can close this. The next thing that we're going to want to do is go into our anims that we've just gone through, all of the anims that we just did in the conversion. Your ADS anims, your ADS down and ADS up, you don't need to worry about this because they don't even have JGun in them. But you want to open up, ADS Fire will have it, but you'll see we have JGun in here. So what you can do is if you're using Notepad++, you can use replace and put in JGun and then replace it with tag weapon. If you're not using Notepad++, you can just do this by hand, but this just makes it a lot easier. So you can just go replace all. There was only one instance, and I think in most cases there's only one instance, unless there's like a note track on it or something. But yeah, so we'll save that, and we'll just go through every single animation here and just replace them all. So replace, oh yeah, remember ADS anims don't have it, so we'll go through them all here. The crawling anims will have it. So once you guys have finished this, then you should be okay, and I will get back to you in a second. Alright, so the very last thing that we're going to do here is set up the last little bit of the models and converting the anims so that they work in Black Ops 3. So basically you want to find yourself a pair of view arms from Black Ops 3. Has to be Black Ops 3 arms or else this won't work. I ripped this out myself, so I suggest you do that as well, or hopefully in the future Treyarch provides us with our own rig that we can use. But for now, you're going to want to use just a pair of view arms, and what we'll do here is drag our view model on, and remember we have it changed to tag weapon from JGun, so we're going to throw that in the same directory that we had our tag weapon on the conversion rig, which is under tag weapon right. And then from here we want to select all the joints, so we'll go the first joint in the hierarchy, select hierarchy, and then we will select one mesh because the model exporter needs at least one mesh. Doesn't matter what it is, just needs some sort of mesh to be able to rip out with the rigs. Then we will export this to my Raygun folder. We'll go Raygun Mark II anim, and then we'll export. So that's the last model that we need. Should pop up there. We can just close this because it doesn't really matter. And the very last thing we're going to do is we're going to have to convert all these. These are in X-anim export, and we have X-model export. We're going to want these in X-model bin and X-anim bin. So what we'll do here, there's a tutorial on UGX on how to do this, but if you have that all set up, you can shift right click in whatever window that you want to convert, and then we'll go open command window here. Remember, you don't want to have anything selected when you do that, and we will type in export to bin space and then star, and that will convert our X model exports into X model bins. We'll do the same with the anims. Open the command window, export to bin space star to do all the files. You can put in a different ending here so that you can choose which files you want, but if you do star, it'll do all the files. So there we go. We got all of our X model bins. We have our X model exports we got X model bins, and we have X anim bins. So that should cover everything for the tutorial. From here, you would basically just create your weapon file, put in your animations and whatnot. So this is all in APE. And then once you've done that, you should be all good to get it into game. The only thing that you're gonna want is to choose a weapon that represents your weapon properly. So say you're porting an SMG, you probably want to use an SMG weapon file from Black Ops 3, so long as they're provided. As of right now, we are only provided with the CUDA, so there's a lot of editing that we have to do to the weapon files, but hopefully Treyarch provides us with something that you guys can use and make it a lot easier. So that should cover the entire tutorial on how to convert convert anims into Black Ops 3 anims. I hope you guys enjoyed and look forward to seeing more tutorials from me. I plan on making a lot more. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, See you guys later.